I want to start today's show with a video that I saw this morning, actually, and it's pretty. I'll give it a bit of a prelude here, but this is another general, a U.S. I think it's Navy. Let me check here before I get it wrong. Retired Air Force general. So we're going to listen. It's about a 2-minute video here, 3-minute video. I wanted to start the show with this because it fired me up this morning, and it's Friday. It's a good time to get fired up. So let's start the show with this short clip. Mute myself.
I have a question for General Quast, actually. I want your thoughts and opinions on Bitcoin. Like, are you familiar with the technology? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so the things you're being told are true, and so when I think about a kindergartner, it would be that if I have my toy and I want to trade my toy for your toy, I can do that and nobody can mess with us. Okay? No, not even the teacher. And so so that's the first thing to understand, is that this is a method of allowing power to be democratized down to the individual level with no limit. And you can trade goods and services without anybody messing with you and without the government reaching in and stealing from you. So that the kindergartner does understand that, and it's powerful. The second component is that we are moving into the digital age. Okay? So when I was in the military, I started the cyber college because we needed, as in the art of war, to understand network warfare. I was with General Flynn in Afghanistan as we used a network to defeat a network. So these principles you're hearing are valid and true as we as a people are trying to throw off the tyranny of a government that is overreached. But we're trying to do it in a way without bloodshed. We're trying to do it in a way without violence. We're trying to do it in a way where we don't have to destroy the whole system. We can transition back to our constitutional foundations and principles, and get those people that have overreached and trying to take power from us to go off into the horizon without any problem. So this is important to listen to because it is about the money, it's about following the money, and it's about protecting our money. So I just applaud everybody for listening and doing your own research, and many of you already have. Those hands that went up, there's one story at a table where had you invested $10,000 in 2009 when it first was invented, you would have over $490 million right now. Okay? And the power of those numbers will not go away with Bitcoin. They will not go away because it cannot be inflated and it cannot be stolen, and it can scale. We have 8 billion people on the planet right now. It can scale when we have 100 billion people on the planet, and it will never violate the principle of democratizing power down to the individual. And this is what God has given us, free will, and that every human being is equally valuable and equally powerful. And this is the way to organize and transform the entire system and pull the rug out from under those people that are trying to steal.
Wow. Wow. I could probably do an hour show today just talking about that 3-minute clip and everything that he said in that clip. And so that's an example of kind of what's going on here. And that is Lieutenant General Stephen Quast. That's that fella's name. He's a retired Air Force general. So listen to this next part. He's a retired Air Force general who has spent his lifetime understanding space and the art of peaceful international affairs and national security strategies. So that's who that guy was. Lieutenant General Stephen Quast. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about another retired U.S. Army general. He was talking about Bitcoin, how if you want to set yourself up for the future, you should be getting into Bitcoin. So we have all of these people, and he was also a national security advisor still. So if you're paying attention to what's going on here in the world, in the USA, with the government, a lot of people think that Bitcoin was created by the government, and I'm in that club. The NSA, I think that that's who created Bitcoin. And within every entity, within every single entity on Earth, entities are just made up of people. Governments are made up of people. Companies are made up of people. That's all they are. They're just organized in a certain structure. But within every entity, there are good people. And there are people like this fella. And there are people who have our best interests in mind, even though that's not the people we see on TV all the time. So you can believe all that or not. It doesn't really matter. This stuff is happening behind the scenes. And if you're paying attention to it, you can set yourself up for what's coming here. And so this show today is going to be, focused on everything that Bitcoin is going to change in the world, because it is changing. He talked about a transition there, not a complete flip of the system overnight, not a complete destruction of the system, but a transition to a new system. And there's lots of little bits in there. I think if you have some time today, watch that again a couple times, because there was so much information in there in terms of what they're trying to accomplish with Bitcoin, democratizing the money to the individual level. That's the key to it. Jose says NSA didn't create Bitcoin. I don't know for sure. That's just my guess on it, based on what's used within Bitcoin. The SHA-256 algorithm was created by the NSA. And so whether it was the NSA as a whole or a small group of people within the NSA who released it to the world, and once Bitcoin got big enough, they knew that there's no way to stop it. And I don't know how seriously they took it in the early days, whoever could stop it at that point. But I think we're way beyond that now. We're way past that point where anybody could stop Bitcoin. They can do everything they can to try to slow it down, and they have, and they continue to do that, but there's no way for them to stop it now. Rock and roll. Good morning, wonderful Bitcoiners. Any country that doesn't have at least 1 billion in Bitcoin is setting themselves up for financial failure. Good timing with that video. I think the USA knows what they're doing with the Bitcoin.